One time. Keith one time Thurman got his ass beat tonight. Zucked. Got his ass whooped tonight. Man, oh man, that was a changing of the guard level fight right there. Whew. Fundora came in there, got a 6-round finish. I thought the fight would be a little closer than that. I didn't think it would be that much of a shellacking. That was pretty much tantamount to just a really, really badass whooping, man. The first round of this fight was probably the closest round the entire fight, Fundora came out there early establishing his jab, something I didn't think he was going to do a great job with, but I thought would be the keys of victory for him was to establish his jab right off the jump and keep Thurman at bay on the outside of his punches. I think within 10-15 seconds of the fight, Fundora landed a nasty left straight down the pipe that caught Thurman's attention right away. He put the brakes on Thurman right away and just established the fact that he was going to control the center of the ring. You're not about to bully me. You're not about to push me against the ropes. You're not about to put me on the back foot. I'm going to make you feel some of this power right off the jump to make you realize, don't come in on me. Don't flurry on me. Don't explode on me. Keith was basically, trying to feel himself out, move around, get his timing down, try to figure out how to get, closer to Fundora to get inside, try to attack to the body, but he just wasn't doing the best of job of doing that. He threw a couple flurries in the first round. It was kind of a stalemate type round, to be honest, just feeling out round. Fundora came in there, I think was able to edge it and get that round just based on the fact that he was able to establish his jab a little bit more. Keith really didn't land anything of suit in that round. Maybe, like I said, a flurry or two that kind of landed, but they really weren't that effective. They get in the second round. Keith tries to get more aggressive and get inside and try to throw a few combinations to the body, and he ate one. Fundora landed a counter left to Thurman that kind of buckled him a little bit. From that point on, Thurman was he seemed like he was on Front Street, just continuously moving. He kept I think his coach was telling him to move to the left. He kept moving into the right, into Fundora's power hand. I just didn't understand his mentality with that. It made no sense, really. You keep constantly moving to the guy's power shot, just setting yourself up to take damage, Fundora, once again, from like round 2 and 3, I gave to Fundora easily. He was just, once again, using his jab, keeping the center of the ring, landing some vicious hooks and uppercuts to the face. Thurman wasn't doing a great job of moving or really blocking or having any sort of counter to Fundora's jab, which I understand. Being that Fundora is weird, being that he's 6'6" and had the long frame that he has, he kind of fights. He sometimes doesn't use it to the best of his abilities, but in this fight, he did a picture perfect job. Kept him at the end of his jab. Every time Thurman would throw one of his flurries to try to get inside, he was countering him and making him pay too badly. Like I said, that was Thurman's game plan, just to attack the body on the inside. He just didn't do a great job of having good defense. He was gonna get on the inside to actually try to put some pressure on Fundora. He just didn't do the best of jobs, And like I said, Fundora didn't change his game plan at all. He kept his same game plan. Sorry about the noise in the back, but he kept the same game plan. Using his jab. And he continued on towards the end of the fight, but he just kept doing it, controlling the center of the ring. Now, when they got to that 4th round, Thurman, you could already see it on his face. You could see his facial expression changed. He was starting to get bruised. He was starting to bleed a little bit. It looked like he had already been through 8 or 9 rounds of war already. And Fundora looked perfectly clean, crispy, didn't really have much damage, didn't have anything on him in terms of wear, And that's when Fundora really started. Once he realized that Thurman didn't have nothing for him in terms of, effective power punching or anything like that, he just started sitting on all of his punches. Uppercuts, hooks. He was really sitting on his punches, really making Thurman feel those punches, and Thurman was bruised up, and like I said, even at this point, he's still constantly, continuously moving into Fundora's power hand. I'm just like, dude, you keep leaving yourself in a vulnerable position by continuously just line yourself up to get tagged. And that just comes from being the fact that he's 37 years old. He's out of the ring, a bunch. He's not in the ring actively enough and staying loose and staying sharp. And it showed on fight night tonight. He just didn't have it. He didn't have the speed. He didn't have the countering ability to get inside on Fundora and make it a tough, rough, rugged fight. Cause that's what he had to do. That's kind of the only way you can win when it's that big of a difference in height and stature and reach. You got to be able to get inside and make the taller guy a little bit more vulnerable, and he just couldn't do it. So when they got to the 5th round, Thurman, like I said, tried to throw to the body, trying to attack the body still, but every single time, Fundora was just countering his shots. And the fact that he was lunging so much, Thurman was lunging with right hands and left hands, just trying to catch Fundora off guard, but Fundora was just on point, And when you're that tall and then your opponent and they're throwing shots like that, lazy, chin up in the air, swinging, going for broke, it felt like it's easy for somebody like Fundora to see that coming. I mean, you're throwing from so far away. It's easy for him to take a few steps back or pivot off to the side and counter with his power shot, and that's basically what was going on, And by round 6, like I said, they had brought the doctor in at one point to look at Thurman. It's kind of embarrassing a little bit, but saying, hey, you got to show something, we're gonna stop this fight because you getting battered. You're not doing enough to keep this guy off of you, And some of the same things that I wish the fight didn't get stopped the way it is. I thought that was a bad stoppage. I know they was looking out for him. At the end of the day, Keith Thurman is a former world champion. He is possibly a future Hall of Famer. Give the dude his respect, give him his credence, and let him try to continue to fight. See if he can come up with something in that last minute and a half they had in that round to stop it right there. Especially when Fundora wasn't landing at that point, at that exact moment. You just stop it and jump in and stop the fight. I thought that was kind of weak, So, but like I said, the way the fight was playing out, it was gonna be more of the same. The ref did do his due diligence and gave Keith a round or so, but he would have took even more damage going forward. It didn't like the fight was gonna shift in terms of the ties to Thurman's favor, so they decided to just say no mas, that's it. They called it right then and there. Good fight, good performance, a great performance by Fundora, even though it's Keith Thurman on the downslope and probably at the end of his career, having a name like his on his resume is a good thing to have, when you look back at his career and say, hey, I beat a former unified world champion. So as far as Fundora, this is another step closer for him to try to become undisputed at the weight, if that's his goals. Some other good heavy hitters, young guys with more, who are in better condition and prime to give him a run for his money with his belts on the line. So we'll see going forward what they do with Fundora, who he's going to try to fight next, And as far as Keith Thurman, one time, baby, it's time for you to hang him up, Outside of maybe a few more fights, against some lower level opponents, I just don't see the point. You're 37 years old, you made a good amount of money. Take your money, and I'm sure he could become a commentator or a broadcaster or something like that. He has the gift of gab, obviously, and he's got a good mind for the sport. Go off and do that, bro. Enjoy the rest of your life with your family. There's no point in continuously taking all of this damage that you've been taking. You know what I mean? You don't really got much to prove anyway. So if I was him, I'd say adios, that's it. But we'll see what goes on going forward. But that's my thoughts to this fight, this ass whooping that Fundora put on Keith Thurman tonight, Catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching the post-fight reaction from me. Sorry, kind of tired. But you guys take it easy. Catch you on the flip side. Is there anything else I wanted to know? You guys take it easy. Have a good night. I'll be back soon with some more videos, so be on the lookout for that. You guys take care. Peace.